allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Jeffrey?
Present.
Brubaker? Kimmons?
Here.
Davis?
Here.
Kaiser?
Here.
Thank you. Moving to the agenda, is there any corrections to the agenda for this evening? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Minutes from the last meeting that are in everyone's packets. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes from the last meeting? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So move.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. If anyone has business in front of the council this evening besides what's on the agenda, you'll need to fill out a card, and then when the time comes that you want to address the council, you'll need to present that to the clerk. Moving on to communication requests and informational items. Number 2, a request from Greg Carroll.
Yes, Mayor, we received this request from the Harrier Track Club to hold the 5K on July 4th, 2022. Public Safety and Parks and Rec have reviewed this request and are recommending it be accepted.
Very well, thank you. Any questions about the request? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to public hearing, receipt of bids. Number 3, receipt of bids for installing the epoxy floor coating.
Yes, Mayor, we received this bid from 3 companies, with ECS being the lowest and best bid at $35,475. We ask that this bid be accepted.
All right, questions about the bid? Hearing none, is there a motion to accept the bid?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bid is received. Moving to ordinances and resolutions. Number 4, a resolution.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution authorizing a copier lease agreement for the Moberly Police Department, asked to be read for consideration.
All right, there's a motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution authorizing a copier lease agreement for the Moberly Police Department.
All right, you've heard the reading of the resolution. Are there any question or discussion in regard to the resolution? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution is passed. Moving to number 5, a resolution.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution accepting the bid of Moberly Motors for 2 police vehicles in the total of $68,598. I ask that it be read once for consideration and passage.
All right, you heard the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution accepting the bid of Moberly Motors for 2 police vehicles in the total amount of $68,598.
All right, you've heard the reading of the resolution. Any discussion or questions in regards? I guess I have one. This is all part of the CIP schedule, Mr. Crane?
Yes, they budgeted for 2 vehicles. We're not sure it's going to hit in this budget year, though.
Okay, but it was in this. It was in the capital improvement plan.
This will probably hit in next year's budget. Yeah.
All right.
Difficulties that they're having getting vehicles, we went ahead and under advice went ahead and they said go ahead and get an order. So this is under the 2022 pricing. We know that the 2023 pricing increases are coming. We're hoping to get these, actually these are the orders, but they won't build it. Resolution passed by the council. They've been ordered for a month.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Davis.
Troy, is this locked in, or are we facing what we faced with the big truck that the transportation department had, but that we could be facing increases before we actually get delivery?
I don't know. They didn't mention any of that. I got a bid from them that says this was the prices, this is what they provided to me. They are not indicating that they would have those prices increases or any chances thereof, but again, we don't know for certain. But this is what the bid is and the price is today. They're trying to get those under the bids today. They're looking at 8 to 9 months delivery on a good delivery. Trucks that they ordered last July are just now showing up. We've seen what the delays were from the enterprise purchases. Those were all delayed because of supply chain issues. So we're just trying to get ahead of it so that we actually have vehicles ordered that we receive that we can pay for in this next budget. The vehicles that were to be purchased on this budget have been built but are waiting shipment. We haven't seen those yet either. I hope they show up before I have to come ask Greg Hodge for a check on vehicles that haven't been delivered yet. But those have at least been built, but no shipping.
Yeah, I know there's probably nothing we can do about it, but it just seems like this is kind of a catch-22 that we're buying something that we could be facing drastic increases before we
We
get
know that
delivery
the
on.
2023 prices will increase. We're hoping that we can get these bid and purchased under the 22 pricing.
I hope so too.
It's still a shot in the dark, and we know that they're gonna go up, so we're trying to get them ordered and save as many dollars as we can. Should I just wait for the next one too, in case there's any questions?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm ready to make a motion, we accept it.
okay. Motion for approval
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution passes. Moving to number 6, a resolution accepting the bid of epoxy coating specialist.
Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution accepting the bid of Epoxy Coating Specialist, Inc. to install epoxy floor coating to the city animal shelter and authorizing the city manager to contract for such service. Has to be read once for consideration.
All right, there's the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution accepting the bid of Epoxy Coating Specialist, Inc. to install epoxy floor coating to the city animal shelter and authorizing the city manager to contract for such services.
All right, you've heard the reading of the resolution. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution is passed. Moving on to number 7, a resolution.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution recording the destruction of certain local government records. Asked to be read for consideration.
All right, there's a motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution recording the destruction of certain local government records.
Okay, there's a reading of the resolution. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Motion and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution passes. Moving to number 8, a resolution.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution appropriating money out of the treasury of the city of Moberly, Missouri. I ask that it be read once for consideration of passage.
All right, you've heard the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution appropriating money out of the treasury of the city of Moberly, Missouri in the amount of $467,000, $136.67.
I hereby certify that there is sufficient money standing to the credit of the city of Moberly, Missouri, unappropriated in the several funds covered by this resolution to meet the requirements of the resolutions submitted Gregory L. Hodge, City Treasurer. Any further discussion about the resolution? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution passes. Moving on. Don't have any official reports. Anyone or anything to come in front of the council?
Either. No, okay.
All right, please state your name and address.
Corey Putnam. I live at 1221 Woody Avenue. I come tonight speaking on behalf of your Moberly firefighters. I'll be making tonight apply to those who work in your street department, your water department, wastewater. It's no surprise to anyone. A majority of your city employees are underappreciated and underpaid. Gentlemen, my intentions are not malicious nor offensive in nature. I'm here to get answers from the city council that offer transparency and clarity as it relates to the status of the wage adjustments suggested by the Austin Peters Group, an unbiased consulting firm whom the city of Moberly contracted with for the purpose of providing wage study information. On December 14th, 2021, I attended a meeting and I listened to the lead wage study consultant advise the city council that not only are the Moberly firefighters extremely underpaid, but the wages of these firefighters have not been adequately adjusted over the past 5 years. I would simply like to know the following, and if you could provide those answers, I would appreciate that. For one, I would like to know what the city of Moberly is doing to solve this problem. I would like to know what you consider a reasonable wage for a firefighter. I would like to know what knowledge you have regarding the current status of the Moberly Fire Department as it pertains to staffing. And what is the purpose of conducting a salary survey? Where do you see the Moberly Fire Department in 3 years? And what expectations do you have, not only as a council member, as a citizen, as a visitor of Moberly, for a firefighter employed by the city if they were to respond to your house, to your business? All I can say is the morale at Moberly Fire Department is at an all-time low. You're going to experience a mass exodus of firefighters in the coming months, despite an outstanding relationship with the chief that you provided us. The overtime budget is shot, and we've offered solutions in the past to no prevail. We understand it is not our job to find the money. That is yours. In closing, all I can say, you paid for a salary survey. It needs to be followed. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else need to come in front of the council? All right. Hearing no others, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
May I ask one question?
Sure.
This is real short. He asked a number of questions. Were you looking for like a written response, or is that just for us to think about? I just wanted to clarify for everybody.
Obviously, because I wasn't put on the agenda, I don't anticipate that you guys have to entertain the motion of actually answering right now.
Right.
But if you would provide answers or have some clarity, which I was considering that I would like transparency and clarity. If you had answers now, I would definitely take those.
I don't think we're prepared to answer tonight,
Okay.
but I think I was just wondering what your intention was with asking the questions. I was looking to see what the follow-up was. That you were seeking.
I would take a response as soon as possible.
Okay.
A written response, and know that it'll probably be made public.
Could you send Shannon a list of the questions?
Yep. Sure
I
can.
didn't write them all down. So.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. That was my only question.
Well, first of all, there's a process for the negotiating of what the firefighters union wants and those questions, and that goes through our hired person, which is the city manager. So that's the way we communicate. I think that's in the contract, that those negotiations and how those interactions are done. So appreciate your questions, and some of them may be answered, some may not. But the city manager is the person who negotiates for the city council. We don't have specific individual answers except our own personal opinion. So certainly if we have those questions, if they've not come up in any of the negotiating sessions or communications with the city manager, then we'll have an answer from him is the way that would work.
Yeah, none of those questions have came up in negotiations, and they're not really negotiative in nature. I think they're pretty pertinent within normal operations within the city council, and they should be reasonably. The answer
Well,
should
isn't
be
there a
reasonably
stated way
satisfied.
in the contract, the way you're supposed to contact, and it's supposed to be through the city manager? So when you're doing this, that's getting out of the line of command as far as the way the council works.
The last time that I spoke to the city manager, he basically stated that you guys call the shots. So these are questions that I've asked before, and it usually falls back onto it. Depends on what city council says. So none of these questions are a surprise to our city manager, Crane, because they've been asked before. I don't feel that the answers have been adequate. I feel like they're open-ended. There's no timeline to some of those. So I wanted answers basically from the council themselves, if at all possible, which should be adequately supplied within one closed session meeting.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else come in front of the council? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn to work session.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Let's do that again. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned from the regular session, and we'll move on to the work session and go to that agenda, which is very long tonight. And that comes to number one, an application submitted by Larry and Linda Snell.
Yes.
This is the application for the first plat one of the final plat of the area you see down there on the South Williams between Shepherd Brothers Boulevard and Urbandale. So this actual segment is part of the first preliminary plat. It's the middle section. It doesn't connect to Shepherd Brothers Boulevard. It doesn't connect down to Route M. It would access off the middle, and they would have a temporary access for the fire department's request to reach up to Shepherd Brothers Boulevard.
That's correct.
Initially. So what you see there is like basically the middle section. Everybody remembers the large tree down there on South Williams in the middle of the property.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be right around, that's near the entrance.
Yes, that's right.
So that'd be, that entrance there on the south side of that would be near that large tree for reference.
Okay, so this has been approved by the planning and zoning, and it's going in front of us for the first time, and then if everyone's in favor of it moving forward, then of course it would go to the next meeting. Are there any questions of Mr. Snell about any of the plat or any of this proposal?
No, my questions were answered in the P&Z meeting.
Yeah. Anyone else? Okay.
Thank
you very much. Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All right. No opposition. That will move forward to the next meeting. And is there anything to come in front of the council for the work session? All right. Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.